everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back to another episode of Whiskey Sour. Yay. Libations and conversations. I have my drink handy, a little old fashioned out the bottle. I don't know how it's going to taste. It's my first time. But this is a special month. I'm not just going to do one episode, I'm going to celebrate all month. Damn, how can I say this all month? I want to highlight, yes, that's what I'm gonna say, highlight black fathers. I feel like y'all feel that y'all are very unappreciated in this world, and so I want to highlight some of my favorite fathers this month. And I'm starting out with an amazing friend of mine. We met in college back when I was an undergrad at Webster in our ethics class. He is no stranger to the show. Everybody, give a warm welcome to DJ Allen. What up, baby?
What's cracking? What's cracking? How are you?
I'm well. I heard y'all was talking about me.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. Look, I left my damn drink downstairs too.
I mean, you can run and get it. We don't have You can run and get it if you want to. I'll be here. I can cut this out. So,
Y'all give me 2 seconds. I'll be right back. Right back.
all right. What's up, Pax? And, interesting. All right, so we back. Drink in your two step. What's going on? How we living? How you feeling? You are on mute. That's my
I'm
fault.
tired because
Listen, I made you nervous because I was like, "Oh, I heard y'all was talking about me."
Nah, we want to talk about you. Nobody talking about you.
Okay,
You
that's
just no play
fine.
in this ride.
Listen, what y'all not gonna do between you and Free Roots Mike, y'all gonna get off my ass, okay? All day the jokes. I'm tired. I'm tired. Okay.
It'd be like that. It'd be like that.
I mean, coming out swinging, I'm like, bro, I need a break today, okay? Like every text message is not post worthy. Leave me alone.
we
Leave me alone.
uh we may you may have been a topic briefly,
Uh-oh.
possibly, maybe, possibly.
Okay, you gonna
I
start
think
early.
somebody I think somebody mentioned you're cooking or something. So
What they say?
I heard you can get down.
I can get down. I know who probably told you that. That's true. That person would definitely know. If it's a person I
Mm-mm,
think this, they
mm-mm,
definitely, of
mm-mm.
course, would know. Yep. Yo, but I've upgraded, right? I
My
make
name Bennett.
fire, fire, duck fat collard greens.
Duck fat. God, that sounds fire. That sounds
It's
fire.
it's so good. It's so tender, so juicy. Like, and I still the recipe doesn't call for like meat or anything, but I still
Mm.
just add it, like cook it in there just to give it a little extra zest. So I be getting down with the get down. Actually, I gotta make some this weekend. It was requested.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Interesting.
I'm trying to be on my wife shit, cause I ain't
Oh
trying to go
Lord.
back to the streets. Okay.
Oh Lord. Hey, listen. Well, I mean, I'm out the game, so welcome.
No, I was like, you definitely are out of the game. So,
I'm a goner.
oh, did you set the date?
Uh, TBA.
Okay.
It's coming.
Okay. I feel like I should get an honorary invite.
Honorary.
Listen, I know
Honorary.
what I know weddings are expensive, right? I'm like, listen, you ain't got to give me a plate. I will. I can come after the meal is served, so you ain't got to pay for it. I'm trying to dance. I'm trying to drink and just have a good time. So
We might be able to accommodate that. I think we'll be able to accommodate that.
I feel like that's fair. I feel like that's fair. Okay.
Yeah, I think we can do that. I
Now
think we
that's
can do that. That's doable.
all right. Well, let's get into it. Like I said, I want to bring my favorite fathers on here, and kind of get in your business, talk about the journey into fatherhood and how it has changed your life. And like sometimes lives and throws
Hmm.
obstacles at us. I'm trying to think when I knew you, when we first met, I don't think you had your son.
No, no.
No. Yeah.
I was fresh out of a breakup when we met. Like fresh,
Okay.
fresh, fresh.
Oh,
And part of my FU getting along in life was, going back to school to get my degree. So I was like, F this, I'm cool, I don't need you. So that's when we met. That was same year I met my son's mother. Now that I'm thinking about it,
okay.
so yeah, that was the same year. I met her in November of that year.
Okay.
So
So, how much longer after you met your son's mother did this relationship take off? And then next thing you know, surprise, I and with child.
yeah,
And describe that feeling because I always am interested to see the reactions or how men feel because I know for a lot of it's like women could it depending on your situation it could be very scary or very exciting. So kind of take me through how you felt when you found out.
um,
Uh oh.
I don't. I was indifferent. It wasn't. It
Okay.
wasn't a bad or a good feeling. I definitely was excited, but and I say it wasn't bad or good because at that point I just didn't anticipate on having any children. Like I was like, oh, I probably ain't gonna have no kids. I'm finna be out here, blah blah blah. So I just didn't anticipate, having a child at that time. Um, but it was a good feeling. I never was afraid. I never fretted. I never was like, oh my God, like there's some bug. And I never, like, none of that ever crossed my mind. It was always a feeling of excitement for me.
Okay.
But just the moment, the feeling overall was just kind of indifferent. 'Cause I'm like, what is this? I ain't never had no kid, like what you do. So
So when your son got here, describe that moment in time. Did you cry? You don't strike me as a crier, but I feel like you might have kind of like got a little soft and got emotional.
nah, so I didn't cry. I was I can't even describe it. I was definitely elated for sure, like seeing him for the first time. Because I like felt him kick and move around and all that stuff, like but seeing him first time, my son came out, he did not cry at all.
What?
My son did not cry when he came
He
out.
was like,
He
"Why
came
my
out
hair?" Or he was like,
eyes
"Oh,
wide
or
open.
this shit again."
Right. Eyes wide open, no crying. He was very alert. Like the nurses was like damn, like he's like really alert. Like he didn't cry or nothing for real. until like maybe 8 to 10 minutes after he was kind of out, and they had cleaned him up and stuff, and he kind of whimpered and whined a little bit then, but he didn't like full on like the dang dang gang gang. He didn't do all that
What was that
until
say?
like 8 to 10 gang 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 gang. Hey, look, I don't know your situation if you want children, whatever, but that sound there to get you.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So, all right. Well, he's here, and what is going through your mind? Like, what happens? How's your relationship? Because a lot of people say that, once you guys have a baby, everything kind of changes. Like, what was that experience like for you? Like, as far as your intimate relationship with your former girlfriend?
So it was at that time it was good.
Okay.
It was, we when we got together and started rocking, we were both like really vulnerable, both going through horrible breakups, like kind of simultaneously. Ended up leaning on each other for comfort,
Mm,
and we were friends for a while,
okay.
and then next things started happening. So um, we were cool. We were cool. As far as me as a person, I was kind of going through some things. Employment wise, I had just gotten laid off like right before my son was born.
Okay.
So I'm like trying to figure it out, trying to hustle it out, not really knowing. And then I'm a DJ too,
Hmm.
and part of me at that time as a DJ, like I was kicking it. I was. It wasn't. I was like, oh, I got to be out on the scene so people see me and know me, and I'm in their mind all the time. So
Yeah.
now I got this seed here, my son, and I'm like, I don't even know what this is, what this looks like. How am I gonna maneuver? But um, having to deal with another adult, and then having a child, having to figure things out, and that aspect is it's different. It's different. Um, I'm just kind of feeling like I had a lot of anxiety, and not in a bad way. It was just more so of I got to get on this, because at that time I thought I was gonna be DJing. Y'all can hear my dog; she running around.
Oh, mine
Um,
is right here, right here. Okay,
yeah,
she's like hitting me to pet her. Thanks, thanks.
she's sitting on my feet now. But yeah, so it was just I'm thinking like, all right, I'm gonna grind it out. I'm gonna be
Mhm.
this huge club DJ, and that was stupid. And not because that can't happen, but I just like
Yeah.
now I couldn't imagine. Oh my god, I couldn't imagine being a straight like full time club DJ today. I could not. I would go insane. Um, but just trying to figure it out, right? So I had to figure out how to grind it out. Feeling good. Relationship is okay. Not
Uh-huh.
great, but it's okay. We're still trying to sort each other out as well, because we weren't supposed to be in that situation, right? Like
Hmm.
we were supposed to just have our little hurt, little trauma bonding, and be cool. You know what I'm saying?
But
But
you
big
conceived
but.
an amazing child through that journey. And at this point in your relationship, you said things are like it's cool, but it's not, great where it potentially could be, mainly because probably you guys could be grieving y'all last relationship still, and then life changed so quickly for you, right?
Yeah, yeah. So my relationship prior to that was, it just ended on a really sour note.
Mm,
It ended really bad, and I have somebody. So my previous is now trying to keep up with my current life, right?
okay.
So now it's Facebook stalking and lurking, and then I heard about your little girl and da da da. Like now I'm going
I heard
through
about your
that.
friend
So
TV.
yeah, your little friend. So um I'm trying to protect that space, right? And her,
Yeah.
because I just didn't even want that. I don't need nobody stressed out, especially the person that's carrying my child.
Right.
Um, so I'm kind of trying to protect that situation, keep this person at bay, and keep things over here, cool, so that I can kind of maneuver through what I need to maneuver through to get ready for my life going ahead. So
Yeah. Would you say that I don't know, because I feel like when it comes to breakups, it's never I feel like the breakup for real, like okay, y'all say it, but then there's like this shadow of the relationship for probably about another year. Right. And
absolutely.
you're like, oh, I'm miserable. The best way to get over somebody is to they tell us to get under, but you would be on top, top of them. I
Get
mean,
under,
you
get
can be on
over.
it too, they could be on top of you, but
That
like
works.
but like how quickly did that happen where it kind of like like that switch up just like that? Like, was it like, okay, this a couple weeks or this
Nah. Me and my ex broke up in April of that year, and I met my son's mother in November. So
okay.
um it wasn't I didn't really jump out like quick at all. I was kicking it, but I ain't jump out like that.
Okay. I want to pivot back to you being in fatherhood. And so what is this like? Like you said, you have these new feelings, you have this baby to take care of, you're trying to figure it out, and you know, also still I would say kind of like not lose yourself because you like I still want to do these other things, like I'm trying to find this balance, I got laid off, I'm looking for a job. So like give us a little insight into that, like what was that like for you, because you got this
Um
baby that's like cuckoo gaga daddy.
no, that's an awesome question because anybody that knows me knows that during that time I was coming out of an awesome career in the radio and music industry. So um what I was facing and looking at was nothing that was ever familiar with me because generally I had always been able to come and go as I please. I was traveling. Um, I had like industry perks and per diems and all this other stuff. So now I'm at home, back home, St. Louis. I'm working a regular job, no diss to anybody, because
Yeah.
I was probably getting paid the same everybody else got paid. It just looked cooler.
Yeah.
But I was for the first time having to do this, and I'm like, man, now I'm feeling less than and all these other things. I'm like, man, there's some bull. Like I got a kid. I was out here trying to meet people and network and be moving and grooving and be able to do this, and it just wasn't that. So um, I was really trying to figure out ways to make money fast
Mm.
so that I could kind of, attain what I had in my head that I wanted for, me, my son, and his mother at that time as well. So,
Man, like I could only imagine, because I think like a lot of times, especially our identity sometimes is so held up and caught up in what we do. And so I could see you kind of also you, taking this blow, to your ego a little bit, and you like, dang, I'm still just trying to figure it out. So I could see that sense of being overwhelmed in, I like to say, an underwhelming way. That because that is currently
hmm
my life, overwhelmed in an underwhelming way. Um, how was that navigating that space kind of for you? Like how was your mental health? Because I don't think we talk about that enough when it comes to men stepping into the role of being a father, because it changes for the woman, but it changes for the man as well.
yeah, it was very different, right?
Hmm.
Because I was at that time not living above my means, but after everything kind of came to a halt, now I have things that I'm like, oh damn, now I got a nice car, and I got this nice car note. So
Yeah.
that was industry money. I don't got industry money no more. You know what I'm saying? Like now I got at the crib working a 9 to 5, getting hella tax, no per diem, everything money. And then I wasn't really DJing heavily at that time either. Because I had been gone for so long and kind of in and out that I couldn't hold down any residencies.
Mm,
The artist that I was working with at that time, his career was, I'm not gonna say, coming to a halt, but it was, I think that some situations just between the artist and the label just didn't work out. And ultimately it kind of, it he not eating, we not eating. So,
yeah.
um, now I'm sitting back like, damn, bro, and I got this kid on the way and all this other stuff, and kids here, I'm working. I think that summer I had like 3 jobs, not at the same time, but I had like 3 jobs that summer, just trying to make it go, and I'm making like minimum wage, and trying to figure out
Yeah.
how I can get back in the clubs and DJ. Um, God be the glory, quote unquote, because my son's mother, she was making more than me at that time, and it was pretty much on her to hold it down, and
Yeah.
that wasn't cool or fair, but it was what it was, right? So
I mean, that's also part of relationships sometimes. Like women will make more than men. I know, contrary to popular belief, that is okay. And
hey, I
like she
want all of them.
like, you know what I mean? Your ass. But I want to talk about kind of like the shift, and then I want to circle back to the fatherhood, like that journey, because like I said, I want to highlight and be able to tell stories and allow people the space to be transparent and be honest, because everything isn't, you know, sunshine and rainbows. Like there are highs and lows in all of our journeys, and I think we're so used to hearing the side of the story where it's like this. The dad doesn't want to be involved. I want to do all these different things, but like I said, I
Mm,
want to highlight the men that I know that are actively, that have fought tooth and nail, if there was some sort of situation drama that erupted after the breakup, or whatever. And I want to circle to a post that you made recently, and it said,
mm-mm.
oh, March 16, 2020, to November 10, 2022, I was being spun through a ridiculous custody battle. I'm ready to talk about it. Why? Because I've met and continue to meet so many men just like me. Who are these men? Men that have been there since day one, sharing time and responsibility of raising a productive seed, only to be bought here. Let's talk about that, friend. Like, what were you going through? And like you said, I would have never known, because like, I mean, it ain't like you'd be deep in the social media game, but we social media is, I have to tell people, it's not real, because we allow people the space to curate lives, and we only see what they allow us to see. And once you figure that out, social media will be such a fun time for you. um
Mm.
I want to talk about that, and that really stuck out to me, because like you said, I know men that have experienced what you just said as well. And I want to also applaud you for being so transparent about that, because like a lot of men don't wear their heart on this. They're just like, okay, let me suck this shit up and move on with my life. And then it's just like, you know but we want to be able to bring awareness and maybe guide somebody that could be listening, that could be potentially going through a similar situation. What are the things to say? What do I do? What do I not do?
Mm.
And whatnot. So you have the floor.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I first and foremost want to say that that post came from a space of me meeting so many people, and I actually met a guy the day before I put up that post that was going through it real bad. I've been working on putting together a platform, a podcast, and also some programs For men, we're not going to neglect women, but the disparity in the system for this type of situation is
Right.
just exponential. So, you know, I've learned that there are plenty of resources out there for women, and there are pretty much none, and
Yep.
I say that loosely, for men. But more so, my objective is to raise awareness. I did kind of take it on my chin, as my homie Aldo just said, for 2.5 years, and people knew, but I never ran the social media, right? Like, definitely people that were close to me knew. Um, And then on occasion, if I started talking to somebody, then it would come out because I just that's what's on my mind. So now I'm pouring out what's going on, and some of those people I wasn't even close to, but
Mhm.
they was listening, they were listening. So I'm like, oh, I'm finna rap with you, But real talk, shout out to my homeboys, my homegirls that just listened, because I have homies going through it now, and sometimes I'll be like, "Ah, I know what he want." So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I pick up, I was like, "Hey, bro, what's up?" Shoot at me. So I appreciate everybody that listened. And more importantly, my mom, my sister, but shout out to my wife to be, um, because for 2.5 years she stayed. Like,
That's a lot.
she stayed.
Whew. It's a tough
And
situation, and and especially with you having a young son. And when I say young, like it's not like a toddler, but you know what I mean. Like
yeah, he'll
it's
be
tough because I've
14
dated.
next Friday.
Oh my god,
Yeah, his birthday's next Friday. He'll be 14.
it's a struggle. And see me, I this is why I date men whose kids are pretty much close to my age because
He made sugar daddies.
yeah, listen, no sugar daddy. It's just that they have to have kids, and the kids are closer to my age, or like they're already grown. So I've missed
Yeah,
the battle because I've dealt with that a little bit, and it was a lot for me. And I was like, can't, I don't have the capacity to support you like this. And I felt like,
yeah.
yeah. So cool, definitely, like you said, kudos to her. Shout out to her because it's a lot.
Big shout out. Yeah,
Yeah.
at one point in time, pardon me, I told her to leave. I'm like, listen, it's no secret. My lady is significantly younger than me. Um, you didn't know that?
No,
Yeah,
no. Okay,
yeah.
we can
She's
talk about it
she's
offline.
10 years younger than me.
Okay.
So
Okay. Okay. It's not
yeah.
that bad. That's not
So,
that bad. Listen, I'll be
well,
dating.
it is.
Listen. Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. She grown.
Mhm.
She has a mind of her own. So you know me. I be listen. I did, like I said, I date old niggas. So the guy I'm currently dating is the youngest old nigga that I've ever dated. So do your thing.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little different, right? Because at the time we met, she was still in her 20s. Um, so me looking back on 20-year-old me as her, I'm like, man, I'm not finna deal with none of this like you. But um, we had made it through being a long distance couple for almost 2 years. And by the time when I got filed on, when my paperwork came, she had been in St. Louis. She moved to St. Louis, for those that don't know. But she moved to St. Louis so I could stay with my son. So I want to point that out.
Oh wow.
Um, from Chicago, a popping city for a woman in her late 20s. That's, my lady is good professionally. She's a leader in in all her classes and in professions and everything. So for a beautiful woman in her late 20s coming to St. Louis so that, a man in his late 30s could stay with his child, definitely speaks volumes. So, like I said, like, kudos, for real, for real.
Yeah.
Um, there's not much I can ever do to repay that, except for probably move back to Chicago when she's ready. But outside of that, so for her sticking around, but I was going through so much during that time, and like I said, I was kind of talking to a lot of people, um, and I was internalizing it because there was a lot I didn't tell people.
Yeah.
Um, but I kind of I had something planned out, but I didn't know. But I'm gonna speak. But I going through the court process for that amount of time. When I got filed on, I was literally walking back in the house. So this is right before the pandemic. I had just DJed 314 Day here in St. Louis. I got served on the 16th of March, coming home from the gym, and that Tuesday the pandemic lockdown started.
Whew.
So I'm walking, I'm parking, you're ready to come in the house, and this guy, he got a mask on. So this guy's approaching me with a mask on.
Oh my God. I'm surprised
I
you didn't
don't
run.
I
It's
don't
St.
live in the
Louis,
best part of
bro.
St. Louis. my my area is gentrifying as we speak.
I don't care.
Um,
It's still that side that we talked about gentrifying on the last episode. It's
yeah, we
still
did.
blah blah blah.
So I'm like, hey fam, what you on? So me and him, we out here, we in a standoff, and he told me, hey, I'm representing the circuit courts, but I already knew what it was as soon as he said that. I said, come on, man, I said, what's this, child support? He said, nah, custody too. I said, what? Like what? He said, yeah. He said, all of it's in here, man. You just got to sign. So I signed. I came in, sat down for a second. I flipped through it like real quick. Immediately got on my phone, started texting my mom, my dad, my sister, talking to my lady. And because I kind of knew it was coming,
Yeah.
um, there were some things that had led up to it that, in my opinion, were just BS. But there were some things that had led up to it. And I want to be clear. The reason I waited so long to talk about this because I wanted to be objective. I wanted to come from an objective space as opposed from an angry, hurt, bitter.
Right.
So I'm about 6 months removed from sitting in a courtroom, having to deal with lawyers and pay lawyer bills and all that now.
Right.
So I feel better, and I can be constructive. And I also want to say before I jump back on that thought, the person that was my counterpart in that situation may have a completely different opinion opposed to what I say. I wanted to be able to speak in facts, and from my best recollection of what happened. Um, but at the end of the day, I got emails, I got texts, and I got lawyer bills and paperwork that can back up anything that I'll tell anybody. So that's not to say that the other person was bad or anything. That's just to say
I mean,
that
the slander
I'm gonna
comes
tell
with
you the
the
truth.
territory. Slander and libel comes with the territory when those things happen. We get it. We took a
Absolutely.
class together. We know.
Yes. It took me forever to pass that damn class.
Wait,
But
ethics?
no, 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 not ethics. Media and law. I think I had to take that one like 3 times.
What? But we learned
I
about
was,
libel and slander initially in
yeah,
ethics.
yeah, yeah,
Say they go back to it in media law.
yep.
I didn't take. Okay, I'll be honest. I think I took media law twice because the
See?
first and it wasn't that. It wasn't that. It was like you had to have a certain grade. You remember? Because like
Mm-hmm.
when it was like a
That's
part
why I
of.
ain't passed.
Yeah, so it was part of your. If it was a part of your degree, guys, like I believe that those classes you can only get like an A or B.
A A or a B. Yeah, you can't get nothing below a B.
No, nothing below a B. So I think I got like a C plus, and I was like, "Bro, like, can I write a paper?" And
Do
so
something.
it
Like,
was do
Jesus.
something, and so yeah. So, but back to what you were saying,
Yeah. But so we're going into the pandemic, and the courts are closed too now.
right?
So
Right. So now it's
nobody's.
drawn out.
But even though the courts are closed, lawyers are still acting on certain things. So
Yeah.
you're still getting billed, right? But what I was saying was, things are built up. So I got served. We're doing the whole course thing now, and it was just getting things were just getting thrown around, pushed around. Um, I'll be transparent in telling this. She did file for full custody on me. Um, and I was just taken aback. I was like, "Hold on, fam."
Okay, so can we stay here for a second? Because
Yeah.
I'm not a mom. I'm a dog mom, right? And
Mm-hmm.
so there are conversations like, I get it. It's an animal. It's not a human being, but I treat this dog like it's my child. Like when my
Mm-hmm.
dog is sick, it makes me sad, whatever the case may be. But the conversation, my guy gave me her. So I said,
Okay.
look, if something happens and we break up, I'm not giving the dog back. I'm not. And so I was like, because don't be spiteful like that. So we can figure out something. You can see her, whatever. Like, even if, like, I know you want to breed her, I will be in contact with you regarding her cycle when it's all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm letting you know, like, don't take her from me because we have a bond. We've developed a relationship. So I
Mm-hmm.
just, when I hear these stories, because it's common, it's so common. And I'm very confused because I get it. The parties involved are hurt. We have history together. Now we've created a human being together, right? But I don't know. I don't know if it's the pragmatic part of me, the logical part of me. I'm an Aquarius, as y'all know.
Oh, my B, I'm an Aquarius.
Hold on.
Oh,
So don't do that.
oh,
February or January?
February.
Okay. Hold the fuck up. I'm going to say
That's why I be giving you shit when you always be
you give me
posting.
shit. You give me shit. Here's the cool thing, though. Here's the cool thing about the signs and astrology. Depending on the day, the time, where the moon was and the sun was, it can make you different because, like, I come across to a lot of people like my rising sign, which is my rising and moon sign, which is they're both in Leo. So, which I could see how people could say that I was a little aggressive or passionate about something. I'm like, yeah, it's a Leo in there somewhere. But I don't know. I just, when it comes to kids, like all jokes aside, signs aside, I just know that it is something that you yearn for. A lot of us don't necessarily like we come from two parent households, but something might have happened or you might not have. So there's something that you are holding on to and you thinking that it can work because like I you don't sound like to me and even what you're saying now, like you said, I'm 6 months removed from it. I'm in a new relationship. You've never said anything or said it in a tone where it's like you hated this person. You talked about this person holding down the fort when everything happened, but feelings are involved. So, who, maybe you broke up with her, maybe she broke up with you, but to take full custody of a child that you are actively seeing, giving money to, looking after, or did the court say it was a gift? Because they like to play that game. And like you've built this foundation of relationship with your kids. So why would you take full custody of my kid from me where I am? It's not like I'm inconsistent. I'm present. I'm active.
Mhm.
right.
Yeah. So I do want to touch on the financial aspect, right? For a long time, I was up and down financially. So I wasn't always able to provide, what, like the, I guess it was bare minimum type deal, right? We were on and off for so long, so I stayed here, stayed there, had my own crib, moved my mama, I was back at the crib, I was with her again. So, and all this is cycling, and I'm still trying to figure it out because I always thought that I was going to be in the music industry.
Mm-hmm.
I had never, planned a contingency to have to live life like that. I'm just like, oh, so now I'm figuring it out. Had not used any of my degrees really. I used like my degree for like a year maybe, but that was about it. And I didn't really have any professional networks either, which is something else I need to talk about. Not here, but I don't understand why if you don't have the corporate 9 to 5, people are like, oh, you don't got no experience. Like, bro, I worked for years doing this. Like, how don't I have any experience? But anyway, that's here nor there.
Listen, because we could
So
talk about it.
that blows me. How can you literally
That
do all these things and then somebody tell you, "Oh, you ain't never done nothing. We can't hire you. Or this person is more experienced than you because they have better
shut the
work
fuck up.
history." Yeah, like come on, dog. But anyway, um,
Yeah.
I now you're dealing with somebody that is quote unquote being the breadwinner, that's taking on a huge brunt of what's happening, financially. And then you have me that's still in this expensive ass car and everything else and trying to get by, right? So
Mhm.
I'm contributing. I'm always giving time. Time has never been an issue. I've
Right.
always spent time with my son. And I honestly think that if the courts did require time, I think things would change as opposed to it being a money thing immediately. But
Hmm.
that's for another thing, another day. But I've always given time. It's just the financial aspect. So now I'm appearing, and this is around 2019. I'm appearing that I'm doing a lot better, and I was doing okay. I had a couple of businesses and whatnot at that time. So the truth of the matter is most people don't know how business works. That's no diss to anybody,
They don't.
but
And this is a
people,
person that runs a business. It ain't what y'all think it is.
yeah, people don't. That's a reality. No diss. People just don't quite understand all the time that my business made $1 million and I made 30,000. So
Yeah.
they don't get that, but it is what it is, right? Um, those are not real numbers for me. Lord Jesus, I don't want them to try and drag me back in the court. You made $1 million. No, those are not
Right.
real
No, I'm like, and I was
numbers.
gonna say that. I was gonna say, y'all, he is just hypothetical, like this, not
Yeah,
real. He
so
was just examples. I knew
yeah,
that.
people don't get it. They don't. So and then there's taxes, and I had employees and all kind of. So
Hmm. Hmm.
I may look like I'm running this well-oiled machine, which that thing was not well-oiled at all. Just looked like it, but and this money's coming in and all this, and it's just not that. So I'm appearing to be doing better at this point in time, and it's just an appearance, right?
Yeah.
It just looks good. So
Yeah.
now those questions start coming up. When you gonna start giving me more money? Da, 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 da. When is this? And here it is. When I got in the position that I was in at that time, my first thing was to start contributing to my son. And I don't mean that in the sense of here, take this money.
Hmm.
I started setting up investments. I started setting up life insurance.
Gifts.
Started putting his name on things. Yeah, so this is what I'm doing during this time. Nobody knows this except for my mom and my sister and my lady, but nobody knew at this time what was happening. So
Yeah.
I'm contributing, financially here, but now you're looking at this person that's like, oh, okay, so you got all this bread and you just ain't gonna do nothing. Da, 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 da. Now fast forward, I am in a relationship. I'm dealing with somebody that's, long distance. And I'm traveling to see this person every now and then because travel was really hard when I had my business. It was difficult. So I'm traveling to see this person. So now it's, oh, you got money to travel. Da, 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 da. You ain't did this. And I'm like, all right, man, listen. Like, we can sort this out. This is really an easy fix, but
Right.
um just everything that kind of led up to that point. And then, my lady moving to St. Louis, ultimately kind of was, I guess, the straw. So now I'm like I said, going through this court process. And the big thing for me was I just didn't feel like I had anyone to turn to. So I couldn't really, I was unloading on people, but it was just basically just talk. And there was really nothing constructive happening from it because I
Right.
wasn't. I was talking to guys that had gone through it, but and here the thing that really did me in. A lot of the guys I talked to that have been through it, I don't know what their situations were, before, during, or after, or if there are any, settlements. I'm happy with the way my case ended. I tell people that all the time. It took a while to get there, but I'm pleased with my outcome. But a lot of the guys that I talk to, like, they like, bro, just give up, let her have what she wants,
Yeah.
leave it alone. And I'm like, what? Like, and these are fathers, you know what I'm saying?
No,
Um,
it's a lot of it's I don't okay. I don't know those men.
you know
Well, you know
them.
what? I know one. I'm gonna say this. I know one, and I'm interested to see if he will talk about it because we've had so many, and there and so but for the most part, and but what happens is too is that they're looking at it from the like you said the financial standpoint and not giving money to their kids like child support. It's like how it's affecting their pockets
Mhm.
because custody cases can get drawn out for years and you could end up with a hefty attorney's like bill afterwards, and the next thing you know you got to pay that person's fees too. So
Yeah.
it was something wild like that. And so a lot of people, in this example, this person, they were like, I already spent $10,000. But I'm thinking about it's your kid. Regardless
That's
of what the
all.
fuck the
No, I'm
situation is,
playing.
that's to me, and
Yeah.
and knowing and having a mother that's an attorney and having friends and family members that are attorneys and you know how them fees can really get, I say, baby, that's a drop in the bucket. That's
Mhm,
nothing.
mhm. Yeah. I and it was the financial strain was really hard on me as an individual, on my household. And then, I still have a son. So it's not the same. I basically went during the pandemic. Um Luckily, my pockets didn't get hit too bad during the
Yeah,
pandemic, because for those of you that don't know, I work in insurance, so life insurance, investments, things like that. But you did have some drawback, of course, but it wasn't. It was still considered. People were keeping it priority, especially with COVID going on. People were buying
right.
more life insurance and stuff. They were like, "I need more. I want $12,000 million in life insurance now." And
Right, right.
sometimes they weren't even doing exams because they wasn't going to see the people. So you was just signing up for it. They was pushing it through. So
Damn.
yeah, a lot of people we weren't supposed to tell people that we
I
didn't,
know.
but
Listen. I know how it
that's what
goes.
was happening.
We
So
know the ins and
yeah,
outs.
people like, hey, here they want this. We'll just they'll
Yeah.
go back and check your little doctor records that they had on hand and stuff. Like, I will give them this amount, tell them they good for this. So, but the financial strain was just heavy, 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 and you're talking about 31 months. That's how long I was in my case. So you're talking about 31 months of expenses, and I won't tell everything, but I'll say the smallest bill I got was $400, and the largest bill I got was $3,800 within that 31 months, and I was being
Woo.
billed monthly.
And yeah.
So
Oh my God.
so for 1 month's worth of work, I had a $3,800 bill one time.
My God. My God.
And I
Like,
still got a household. I
yep.
still got a son. I
Yep.
still got to go back to court. I still got to go. So I ain't gonna
Right.
front with you. Hey, listen, man, I understand why these boys be out here in the trap.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, on a positive note, everything worked itself out, and you say you are happy with the outcome because
Mhm,
clearly she didn't get full custody.
mhm, mhm. No, no,
So was it what it are you comfortable with saying like what's your visits, like is your son with you?
yeah,
Yeah, okay, go
yeah,
ahead.
absolutely. And I'm gonna talk some real jargon here, but I want to say this just so people can understand. Um, So I have a 2-2-5 schedule, which is
Okay.
pretty much 50-50.
Yeah.
So you get 2 days, 5, 2, 5 alternate. So that's pretty much a 50-50 schedule. I do not pay child support, and we only split medical. So we split everything medical down the middle.
Okay.
Outside of that, my son is good to do whatever he likes. We have contingencies written in for holidays and
Of
birthdays
course.
and things like that. But as far as just the general, I see my son 5 days a week for the most
Okay.
part, most of the time, well, half the time. So, yep, I'm perfectly good, and I'm fathers or mothers too. I'm telling you all that because um, it's a good compromise. I really wanted a week on, week off schedule, so go 7-7. My judge just was not in favor of that for whatever
Okay.
reason, and that's a whole nother story because what one judge is in favor of, another judge be
Oh,
like no, and another judge be like yes, and another so. But my judge just wasn't in favor of that, so that was the compromise. He allowed. I'm gonna say this to y'all, allowed us to come to, and I'm saying allowed for a reason because that's all you can do in that court. They allow you to do everything. You can't just come. Nope, nope.
yeah.
I've never felt so little boy as I did in court some days as a grown man.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. It's definitely a humbling experience based on the stories that I am told. And it's kind of a sad because you have to also factor in it's not only in favor of women, but you're also now adding race on top of it. And you
Oh, I
got
can't.
out,
I can't tell those stories.
like, and that's crazy because we talk about race when it comes to the court system, when it comes to like crime or petty crimes or things like that. We don't think about it in that aspect. And I have like other friends that have been heavily affected by that. So it's interesting to understand. But I want to, before we get out of here, I want to end on a high note because like I said,
Yeah.
like want to stay positive, and you've given a lot of forethought, insight, and like you said, like you didn't know this was going to happen. I always want to tell people that we can't predict the future. we I mean, yes, one thing to choose a better partner, but you were dealing with somebody that you had a relationship with too, and things just go awry. And like you said, oh, things appear a certain way. I know how, I get it. I know how that looks. So, what is the dopest thing to you about being a father? Like, what's the dopest thing?
Ooh.
Or one of the dopest things? You don't have to, because I know it's
I
hard.
don't know.
But
I
what
don't
is
even
the
know.
dopest thing? Like, or what what warms your heart as a father?
Um, I would definitely say watching him grow up over these past 14 years, right? Like every phase, every good moment, every bad. But even more so watching him come into self. Like I think back to me and what I was doing, and my dad was cool. My dad was hip, but I don't think my dad was as cool as me. So like, he gonna watch this and be like, "Oh, bro, you got jokes." Like, you want to see how my daddy think? Go in my Facebook comments. He be in there all the time. But
Wait, what?
yeah, my dad always in my Facebook comments.
I ain't never, hold on. What's your daddy name? I'm finna him on Facebook.
I'll
And
tell
why?
you offline. I'll tell you
Okay, okay,
offline.
yeah,
I'll tell
yeah,
you
yeah, yeah, yeah.
offline.
I want your daddy caught up. I want your daddy caught up.
Yeah,
Wait,
I'll
hold
tell
on.
you offline.
Hey, your daddy pay bills?
He got my last name. I just
I'm just playing.
it's
I'm playing. I'm playing. I'll be trying to
yeah.
date everybody daddy, contrary to popular belief.
My name Bennett. Now, yeah, just watching him come into self.
Okay.
And we got a long time ahead of us. We stay in good favor, good health, and I'll be able to watch him, just grow into even more, So I can definitely say that just the dopest thing for me has been just watching him grow into self,
Okay.
watching him take on his own interests, watching him He calls it Riz. That's what game is now. Yeah, I'm check out my Riz. We used to call it game. Oh, I got game. I can get the ladies. The kids now call it Riz.
I have never
Well,
heard that in my life, and that don't sound
Rizz,
cute.
Riz.
Check out my Riz.
Check my
Interesting.
Riz. Yeah, so it's watching them coming to self. That's been the best, dopest moment for me thus far. Like I can't like just pick out, but like I said, there's moments good, bad, every way through. Um, and he was affected by the situation as well. So having to pull him back into
Yeah.
into a space, along with everybody else is part of it. But he's been managing and he's doing great. So definitely watching him grow and develop for me.
And if he has a hard time too, one of the things that we are here, advocates for is, therapy, getting him a counselor, being able to talk to
Hmm.
people, being able to, give kids the space to really say how they feeling. We didn't really get that growing up. And,
Yeah, yeah,
being able to just listen and being able to sit in what our kids are saying to us, because we can also learn things from them too. And, and you can also say, hey, contrary to what you thought, this is how it was, and like you got a paper trail. Like a lot of my homeboys got paper trails, which is so messed up, by the way, that it has to even be like that. But it's just like I wanted to be there. Like this is not how I planned this going, and so they can also kind of get an understanding. It's not like I'm against your mom or anything, but like just know I've been always there for you, and I'm always be there for you. So.
yeah, yeah. It's tough navigating,
I
um,
can imagine.
because you hear so many different opinions and different perspectives, right? You talk to women that have been on both sides of the situation. You
Yeah.
talk to men that have been on both sides of the situation. Um, you read about situations. You hear. So it's very difficult to navigate, especially in having your own feelings. I think that something things that became apparent to him, not out of any hearsay, but just out of seeing and feeling things. So
Yeah.
people always say, "Oh, your kid's gonna figure it out when they get older, bro. Just let it go." I heard that so many times. And when he turned 18, bro, he'll be back. I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta
No,
miss the next 6, 7 years, fam. That ain't
no,
flying,
we're
dog.
not doing that.
Nah.
And there will be no resentment in this household. And and then what happens? And then it creates another level of it, like it messes the kid up. Because
Hmm.
it's like then it creates this other level of resentment for his mother because she took him
Yeah,
away. And when you provide the receipts, it's like, nah, let's figure this shit out now, and like let's be able to co-parent help, like in a healthy way, you
yeah.
know. And like I said, that all goes back to like ultimately what this person, like what she wanted was more money. And I get it, like if you want thing,
I didn't say that. You said
I didn't
that.
listen,
I,
based on my
I
findings, my listening. And my hearing
didn't
ain't
say
that
that.
great. I wear hearing aids, but from what I was told and what I deducted from the set situation, I ascertained that that's what it was. And so people get shady like that. And it is
Yeah,
messed up, but I don't know, like it's hit or miss, like and it's tricky because then you get situations when it comes to people that have like that are multimillionaires and what would happen. And I don't know, like I think it's a case by case situation.
it is.
So
I think that children should have both parents, and we're not gonna get into the obvious of why nots, because we all
yeah,
know those situations. People, oh, what if we not? Shut up. But I think
both
that,
parents. They need both parents. We're
yeah,
not talking about somebody
children should
passing
have both
away, somebody
parents.
going to jail, somebody on drugs. Like people
Yeah.
should show up for their kids. If you made the conscious decision to bring a child into this world, then figure it out. Like figure it
Hmm.
the fuck out. And yes, it be niggas that be caught up in the. You said no. We've been no, like bullshit, bro. Like let's figure it out.
Yeah.
So final thought, final saying, like what could you say to the men that are out here listening to this, that could be going through this, um that could inspire them to keep pushing forward in the situations, what is something that you learned through through this, you know? Like we know you said that having friends and family that you were able to lean on and be able to call and voice your frustrations. But what else is what is what can you say to someone that's listening, male or female?
Um, if I took anything, not even took anything away, but if I did have anything to say, um, I would say put your kid in the middle and don't worry about anything else, because when you start worrying about, your the truth of the matter is, in court there are winners and losers, right? That's why you have lawyers that stand on their records. There are
Yeah.
winners and losers, period. Um, the courts are designed to make you opposition, and you're battling with your counterpart or whoever it may be, and people are not looking at the child. If you just look at the child, you'll figure out everything. That's hard to do through a lot of things, but if you do it, I promise it'll be all right. It'll be all right. And I know that was very generic and basic, but that's real, because people hate losing. People hate losing. They hate getting run over, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna talk about this. I'm gonna give a shameless plug. Be on the lookout for the 50/50 podcast. It is strictly going to talk about this. I've already started doing interviews and sitting down with these
Yay.
people. So I got stuff in the archives. But you're gonna hear some crazy stories. I used to think my situation was bad, which it was for me, but
Yeah,
no,
it gets worse.
not
Like
even
it's
close.
not even
Yeah,
close. Like
not even close.
I have an amazing friend that is in a situation that's so messed up. And I'm like, I don't and again, I can't, my mind doesn't go that far. And
Hmm.
I'm like, wow, I can't imagine.
Yep.
I can't
Yep.
imagine. So I appreciate you so much for coming on. I appreciate, appreciate your transparency, your honesty, being able to be vulnerable with us and talking about the ins and out, because like fatherhood isn't just like we get the kids on a week. I get my kids on a weekend, type deal. It's
Hmm.
like 24 hours, 7 day a week, 365 days a year, because as long as whomever is living, that person is your responsibility. And so that's why I wanted to talk about it, like talk about different scenarios that happen. And for the most part, a lot of my homeboys have full custody of their kids, unless they're like,
Wow.
married, my married friends.
Yeah.
But for the most part, or it's like something strange that has like something strange that's happened, and somebody becomes bitter, and then it makes their life super, super complex. And like you said, I appreciate you being able to find the space to release that frustration, because one of the men I was dating had trauma, like just frustration pent up
Hmm.
for almost 20 years.
I can imagine.
I could
I
imagine.
can
And
imagine.
I was like, listen, like I talked him through it. Like he was about to have a nervous breakdown one day. And I was
Yeah.
like, like, this is what it is. And now I'm like, you need to go see a therapist, because I'm not certified. Like I can't
Hmm.
tell you the best thing to do for you. I can just speak based on how I know you and what could potentially work, but I don't want to lead you down the wrong path.
Yeah.
But like you have access, like you can afford that. So I'm like, go
And
get
that's a
that.
whole nother story, but
It's a whole
yeah.
other story.
Yeah.
Therapy
Yeah.
does not come cheap. A good therapist does not come
Mm.
cheap. Um
You'll do
and
lawyers.
and you'd be lucky if you get a health provider that will give you
Hmm.
so much for it anyway. So
Yep.
because they wouldn't pay for my hearing aids, and my hearing aids was like 4K.
Yeah, that's whack.
Yeah,
I'm not with
so
it.
yeah, so I want to Thank you so much, and I definitely want to have you back on in a more fun, positive
For
setting.
sure.
And we turn up, and like just be real with each other. Like I always love when we have such conversations, and I stay sober. I didn't crack too many jokes. I was trying not to curse.
I'm done. You good?
Cause now you can share with your dad. He ain't be like, she got a potty mouth. Like, no, dad.
Nah,
I
he'll be all right.
kept it cute.
He'll be
And
all
yeah,
right.
so tell the people where they can find you. Maybe you DJ and got things on SoundCloud, whatever. Like, let the people know what's going on.
Yeah. So be on the lookout, like I said, 50/50 podcast. We're trying to get that rolled out in August.
Okay.
Um, you can find me at I am Allen I. You see my name down there, ALLENEYE.com. All my social media handles are I am Allen I. I'm on Mixcloud at I am Allen I. That's the move. I am Allen I. So yeah, booking, contact, all that. If you have a wedding, corporate event, festival, anything,
It's
I
really good
will
at weddings.
pull up. You said what?
I say it's really good. Like you're gonna be turned up. You're gonna get wiped down.
Oh yeah, it's gonna go down. I actually did two weddings over the weekend. I have one this coming weekend, and then I think I got a corporate coming up. So we
Hey,
stay booked and busy over here.
yes, loves to see it. And don't forget, y'all, I got my candles. Saint-angeles.com/candles. Use code Aquarius at checkout for your on purchases of $60 or more for a surprise. It might be somewhere between 10, 20, 30% off your first purchase. So yes. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share the podcast with your friends. We are, full speed ahead, just trying to ramp up this engagement on this show because I got dope content and I'm great and I deserve
You
everything.
are.
Like deserve all the blessings, and you deserve all the blessings too, my friend. And I'm so happy and I'm so proud of you for sticking with it. Like you said, there were people, discouraging you and telling you just let it go. Now, I'm glad you stuck with it and was like, this is important to me. My son, like, I'm important to my son, and my son is important to me, and he needs me. And more men need to be like that. And so, happy Father's Day to everybody, and happy
Yes,
Father's Day
yes.
to you in advance. And
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you. So, next week, we'll be back with another episode of Whiskey Sour and another father.
There
So,
we go.
see ya here next week.